Every single interaction between the modern state and an individual citizen passes through an invisible, high-speed sorting mechanism. Mislabeling a state action causes this entire mechanism to fail, stripping citizens of their procedural rights before a case even begins. The first arena where this categorization dictates reality is inside the state apparatus itself. Under the Thai Administrative Procedure Act, the label attached to an action determines if an official is legally required to grant a citizen the right to be heard before making a decision. If an official misclassifies an act, they might skip that mandatory hearing. That single procedural failure renders their ultimate decision unlawful. The second arena is the judicial process. The Administrative Court Act uses these categories to set the prerequisites for litigation. The classification dictates whether a citizen must exhaust internal appeals before they are permitted to sue the state. If a citizen misidentifies the act, they might file an appeal to the wrong body or simply miss the correct deadline entirely. When that procedural window closes, a legal principle called binding force, or Phan Bang Ka Puk Pan, takes over. The state's action, even if it was executed unlawfully, transforms into an unchallengeable, legally binding reality. To understand how this sorting system works, we have to deconstruct the two main pillars of state action, orders and rules, and examine an anomaly lurking inside Thai law. Precise legal categorization is the ultimate gatekeeper. Without it, the state's power operates completely blindly, and citizens forfeit their ability to defend themselves. Before state actions are sorted, they share a foundational DNA. This slide shows the first shared pillar, the unilateral exercise of public power, derived from German law known as Hoheitlich. This power operates strictly within public law. The state acts from a position of authority, not as an equal negotiating a private contract. The second shared pillar is the specific intent to determine legal relations, known as Regelung. Legal relations require the explicit intent to create, alter, transfer, or extinguish the rights and duties of an individual. This excludes mere factual actions. A government garbage truck collecting trash is a physical action, but it lacks the intent to alter legal rights. Therefore, it is not an administrative act. Any state action possessing both unilateral public power and the intent to alter legal rights enters the sorting matrix. We separate these acts by analyzing two factors: who is targeted and what situation is being addressed. The first major category is the administrative order, or Kamsang Tang Bokrang. An order is surgical. It targets a specific identifiable person or a defined group, and it applies strictly to a specific concrete pace. When we plot this, the administrative order occupies the quadrant for specific targets and specific situations. A license revocation or a mandate to demolish a single building are administrative orders. The second major category is the rule, or Kot. A rule casts a broad net. It applies to the general public anonymously. Rather than a one-off event, a rule applies to abstract, repeated situations. On the matrix, the rule sits in the opposite quadrant: general targets and abstract situations. A ministerial zoning regulation or a national curfew are rules. In an ideal legal world, this binary system is flawless. Every state action fits neatly into a defined box, dictating exact procedures with zero ambiguity. But the real world produces state actions that reject these two boxes. Consider a police officer using a megaphone, ordering a specific, dense crowd to disperse from a protest area. Or consider a green traffic sign dictating the right-of-way at a specific Bangkok intersection. Analyzing these examples reveals a contradiction. The situation is highly specific: this exact protest at this exact moment, or this specific intersection. Yet the target audience is general and anonymous. It applies to any citizen present in the crowd or any driver passing through. This creates a hybrid category, the general administrative order. It occupies a contradictory space, a specific case aimed at a general public. Here is the problem. As this lecture slide points out, the Thai Administrative Procedure Act of 1996 contains no definition for a general administrative order. Without it, the state must treat this hybrid action as either a strict rule or a strict order. If we legally classify a traffic sign strictly as an administrative order, the procedural requirements become absurd. state officials would be legally required to grant a right to be heard and provide written reasoning to every driver before they reach the intersection. To prevent government paralysis, Thai legal academics have to invent theoretical workarounds. They interpret exceptions, waiving the need to hear evidence and allowing public announcements to replace individualized reasoning. While European legal systems have formally codified these exceptions into their statutes, Thailand relies entirely on academic interpretation to plug the gap. Until the legislature updates the statute, the General Administrative Order remains an unresolved edge case in Thai jurisprudence, forcing an ongoing balancing act between the efficiency of state operations and the strict demands of the law.